the shattered facade. They branded me an outsider at my own birthday celebration to bury their treachery, but I turned their lies into their ruin. I'm Lena Harper, 39, in a crimson gown that drained my savings, standing in the opulent Ritz-Carlton ballroom. My husband Julian's family planned this surprise for my 39th, but the surprise was their betrayal. His mother, Beatrice, hands me a name tag, Lena, outsider. You're just a guest tonight, she hisses. Stay in your lane. Julian smirks. Seats are for family. I slip off my ruby ring, place it on the counter, and say, then I'm no longer bound to you. His eyes widen. The envelope in my clutch held their downfall. Weeks ago, I'd overheard Julian and Beatrice in our study. Lena's too wrapped up in her audit work to see, he said, as I ironed his bespoke shirts. The outsider tag will humble her. He laughed about his firm's partners jeering at my role. I set the shirts aside, opened my safe, and pulled a file labeled Checkmate. Inside, 10 months of evidence of Julian's $2.9 million fraud at Horizon Capital. I'd hoped to protect him. Now, I drafted an SEC whistleblower report as he plotted my shame. For 9 years, I'd pressed Julian's shirts, not for lack of funds, but because he called it wifely devotion. Meanwhile, I rose at 4 a.m., brewing his Peruvian coffee while rescuing Manhattan restaurants. My office, a nook in our penthouse, buzzed with screens tracking Bella's Bistro, losing $18,000 monthly. I cut costs by 37%, overhauled their branding, and drew Gen Z crowds. Bella's owner wept gratitude, but Julian called my firm, Summit Audits, a hobby. The Checkmate file was explosive. Julian's careless Horizon files, left on his desk, showed fake invoices, $2.9 million diverted from investors. I'd photographed everything, encrypted backups, and consulted Sarah Vance, a former SEC counsel. This is a slam-dunk felony, she'd said. I'd stayed quiet, thinking marriage meant loyalty. But Julian's loyalty was to his affair with my boss, Cassandra Wells, and his family's gains. 2 years back, I'd saved Julian's father's firm, Harper Logistics, from ruin. A supply chain collapse had consultants quoting $310,000 for a fix. I did it for $105,000, shifting to sustainable tech, saving 175 jobs. Beatrice mocked my factory meetings. Not Harper-worthy, she'd said. Yet I saved their name. Beatrice's Sunday brunches were torture. I'd bring her cherished sfogliatelle, hours to craft. She'd call it decent, then belittle my trivial work. Summit hit $1.4 million in revenue, built from $6,000 and grit. My first client, Nico's Deli, signed after 47 rejections. I cut their costs by 29%, digitized operations, and boosted sales. With 13 clients and 4 staff, I was a lifeline. Julian saw only his firm's high-rise deals as legitimate. Julian's client dinners at the Plaza screamed infidelity. Lipstick stains, Tom Ford cologne, charges for lobster, and champagne for 2. I had photos, receipts, proof of his affair with Cassandra, my CEO. I filed it with the fraud evidence, biding my time. The birthday invite came, addressed to Julian. An error, he shrugged. At the Ritz-Carlton, the clerk hesitated, then gave me the outsider tag. Beatrice's voice cut through. Outsiders use the side entrance.
Guest, financier, politico-stared.
No seat for me. Julian arrived, reeking of Cassandra's scent. Seats for family, he grinned. I placed my ring down. The clink silenced the room. I'm no longer bound. Gasps erupted as I exited. In my car, I called my deputy, Owen Blake. Execute Project Eclipse. He confirmed. Accounts frozen, SEC filing prepped, evidence secured. Monday, the SEC accepted my 28 files. Julian's voicemails turned frantic. By Tuesday, Horizon ousted him, assets seized. Beatrice's $1.6 million in Jersey account surfaced, her inheritance voided. She now clerks in Queens, $11 an hour. I bought the Ritz-Carlton ballroom for $720,000, a steal. At my press conference, I declared, no degrading tags, equal dignity. Beatrice's next event was scrapped. Julian's sister, Elise, exposed her fiancé's scam with my help, funding her law degree with her ring sale. We dined in my venue, equals, toasting resilience. In my Soho penthouse, dawn gilds the skyline. Summit saves 47 businesses. The outsider tag, framed in my office, reminds clients, your value isn't their label. Julian's a junior clerk in Buffalo. Beatrice is a shadow of herself. I'm not their outsider. I'm my own dynasty.